Hi guys, if you've seen the previous videos in this series, check the video description for the playlist. You'll know I bought this Dune Buggy in Poundland for a £5. It's radio controlled, 27 megahertz. In the most recent video, I pinched the receiver out of it to put into this one to convert it from infrared to 27 megahertz, and that one's a little flyer now. Works very nicely. So rather than take the receiver back out of it and put it back in here to restore this to normal, what I think I'll do is convert this one to hobby grade. Now, I've got a JST connector there, so I'll take the back of the gearbox apart so we can get to the motor and then solder that onto the motor tags, so we've got a JST connector for the motor. I'm not sure if that's long enough. It'll probably do the job. That'll get rid of those skinny little wires that we've got on there. We'll probably still burn the motor out, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave the original motor in there. For batteries, at the moment it takes 4 nickel, I was saying nickel metal hydride, but no, those are just ordinary lead batteries, or zinc as they call it, zinc carbon. So 6 volts, I'm going to replace them for now with 2 lithium ion batteries. So we're going from 6 volts to 8.2 when these are freshly charged, but we're only going to put 2 in there. So what I'm going to do is, on the other side of here, there's a midpoint connector. If I solder onto there, then we'll just be using the first 2 battery boxes, or battery slots. Somebody will say it's not unbalanced the car slightly. Yeah, it will, but I'm not going to worry about that. So if we do that, we can get 8.2 volts into the ESC, which is laying on the table here somewhere. There we are, ESC and receiver. Should have enough room to tuck them in just there. Oh, there's not a lot of space, to be honest. That's very flat. I'll have to go up here somewhere. Or up in that gap there. That's a thought. Yeah, that's very low down there. The original receiver was very flat, I think. Or did that fit up there? Oh, it might have been up there in that gap. Either way, we'll find some way of getting the receiver in there and the ESC. And then we need a servo for the steering. We could use a second ESC and steer the car using an ESC on that motor there, so we can get forwards and backwards, which will make it go left and right, but you won't get proportional control like that, or at least not proper proportional. So what I'm hoping is I've got a, I think that's a metal gear one. Yeah, that's a metal gear servo. See if we can actually fit that in there. Will that fit in? Oh, it might be a bit tight. It'd be nice if we could just fit it that way up, because then when the only have one arm on there, that one, and have a peg sticking down from there, it can directly push where that white bit of plastic at the moment pushes the steering side to side. So if we can get that in there like that, that would be handy, but I'm just looking at it now, I don't think we got the clearance. That's annoying. I might be able to get it in flat like that, but I don't think we got the clearance. Gonna have to have a little think about this. I was hoping it would be quick and easy, but from the looks of it, it's going to be just that little bit more complicated. Screwdriver. I remember, I've got to take this off to get to the other two screws. To those two screws to actually release that bit of plastic. We can't do away. Oh, that's my battery charged in the background there. Yeah, we can't do away with this bit of plastic here because that's holding the steering in place. Well, it's holding the suspension in place, but ultimately it's holding all the steering in place. So we've got to keep that. We might have to just cut a slot up the middle of it or something to get the servo in there. Right, we take that off, which we can't take off without taking the suspension off. Right, if we take that off, we can see the gearing. So we're going to take that out. I'm going to take that out. Take that out. And somehow how about if we turn it up that way? That's going to be pointing the wrong way. That's going to be too high up that way round. Come down there. That could go directly in there and push it side to side. That's all going to get in the way. Oh, this is awkward. If we mount this all the way back here somewhere. We could potentially use that as a bell crank, as I'd call it. Put a hole in just here somewhere. to push that backwards and forwards like that. Then have the servo. Back here. If it's sticking all the way out there, right, so this is getting more complicated than I wanted it to be. So the ideal thing is for that just to sit straight on top like that, but that's not going to happen. Because we still need that on top. Right, I'm going to have to stop and think about this. Right, still haven't sorted the problem, but I've had an idea. We can use a smaller servo. Still pushed for space, can't get it in that way round. Looks like we might be able to squeeze it in that way round. If we squeeze it in that way round, do what I was thinking about earlier. Push a rod up that way. That will then have to be, it's got to turn at right angles, go down and along, or we mount that the other way up, obviously. Mount that way up. That might work. That way up. So I'm going to fall apart. So cut a slot in the top of there. So can mount that up that way. Push rod coming through. Hole in there. So we're pushing like that. Well, it might work. Not with that circular one though. One of these cut down. Right, trimmed a slot in there, so that's going to fit in there. Not sure what sort of glue we're going to use. Probably hot glue, just to try and get that to stay in place. And then under there we need to trim that out the way so that our push rod can go through. And we need to drill a hole in that one so we can put the push rod in. It's all going to be a little bit awkward. But I think it'll work. This plastic is actually very easy to cut. I was expecting it to be difficult. But it's very easy to cut, which means it hasn't got much strength. Right, I'll put some hot glue on there to hold it in place. And then we'll do a bit more work. Well, instead of hot glue, I've gone super glue. And I'll put a bit more super glue on there with some baking powder around it to make it rigid. I keep forgetting some people may not have seen this process before. So it is literally super glue, generous dollop of it, and baking powder. And it goes off quite like concrete. I'll brush that clean in a minute. Right, so we need a hole in here. In fact, it might be a good idea just to leave that. in there, that will hold it still. I don't like this. I don't like the fact the on-off switch is up there when your hand is down here somewhere. So that's our little hole. So that's going to be one of these. It's going to be mounted that way. So just trim those bits of plastic out the way. Shorten that. I'll shorten it to there, but I think we can probably make use of the next one in. Right, paperclip time. One straightened out paperclip. So that's the idea. We're going to push that like that. The only thing is, we've got to do this from here. Well, I better centralise that first. Before you screw the arm in place, you want to make sure the servo is centre, so that will do the job. Oh, I wonder if there's any power in that one. Soon find out. Plug that in there. That way around. Switch that on. No, looks like that one's got a flat battery in it. Oh, right. Okay, I'll have to get a better battery. Right. Okay, I've got some pretty lights this time. Around. That's the middle position. Okay. So what I've got to try and do is put that on there. Right, that's better, lined up. Okay, and then we've got to judge that. Right, that's telling me. Okay, we've got an emotion. So now put that back into there. We should be okay. Oh, we need to put the screw in there before we forget. Just occurred to me we can show you easier this way up. Right, so that one goes there. That goes over there, but that needs... It's going to go over there like that, so that needs to be like that, so it goes in the hole. And this goes over the top of that hole there, it's that hole there. Okay, so that's that together. So we can put those screws back in there. And we could, if we didn't have a magnetic screwdriver. So that's our steering module. We'll leave the springs for a minute. So that's going to sit down there. Oh, I forgot to say, I've taken the spring, which bit? That bit out of the way. That's the bit that you adjust the centre of the steering on the toy grade, but we don't need that on the hobby grade. Okay, oh, I nearly forgot. Most important bit, those bits have got to go in the right place. I got that wrong last time I took it apart and put it back together. That goes in there. Come on. wires in the way. That's in place. That's in place. Okay, a few more screws. Okay. Quick test. Get it in the right way round, Grandad, and you won't burn everything out. So, we have steering. Some springs. Springs, plural. That's the big one, slide the little one, there it is. Right, so front end done, back end, so I'm going to take that apart again. Can we do that without taking the whole thing apart? Might be able to. Take the wheel off, yes, we can get to the motor there. Pull that off, so I'm going to replace those wires. I think that might be a bit short, thinking about it. It would work, but I'll get a longer lead. Right, that's a good bit longer. From experience, I know that it makes no difference which way round I connect it, it will be wrong. So I'll probably have the motor running backwards by accident. Now, some people recommend you take these capacitors off when you do this sort of conversion. I haven't actually found a problem leaving them on. Can we get those wires in there? Yes, that's good. Soldering irons, not hot yet. All right, we'll come back in a minute. Right, hopefully soldering iron is warm enough now. Okay, don't need that bit of wire. As I say, it makes no difference which way round I do this. It will be wrong. Let's just pre-tin those. Cut them a bit shorter. You can guarantee you're going to get something like that the wrong way around, aren't you? That's got to be on top. Just have to do it there instead. Right, let's actually do a proper test, just to find out if we got it the wrong way round. That is backwards. Which we can do that one. I expect we'll burn out the motor fairly quickly. Oh, didn't check the steering, did we? That's reversed as well. Oh, wrong thing. Steering. Steering trim. Okay, So that's that far. Now we've got to figure out where we're going to put everything. Oh, no. We've also got to put a lead on here, a lead on here. Then we can use the existing on-off switch to turn them on and off. So, got hot glue on here. Take that one off entirely. Right, where are we? That's positive. And I get a red lead and go from positive to the on-off switch. And then from the on-off switch on that lead, we'll go direct to there. We also want to get to that tag right under there. Yeah, it's bound to be under there, wouldn't it? Because that's the halfway tag. Which we're going to use, so we only use half the voltage, or at least half the battery pack, two cells. So we'll go black on there. We'll go red on there in a minute, but I'll get the other bit of red wire. Okay, disconnect that from there. Connect that one to there. Connect that one to there. Switch that on. Yes, so we've got on-off switch works there. Okay. Off there. I could have used the on-off switch on the ESC, but I tend to keep pinching my components out of working cars to make other ones work. So I don't want to modify that one and solder it straight in. Now we've got to try and get the cover back on with all these bits in there. So I did say I might put bits up under the back there. We'll see what we can squeeze in. Well, I managed to squeeze it all in eventually. I did do what I said I was going to do. I've got the receiver and the ESC tucked up in this top area. The bit of tape is to stop water or anything splashing up underneath it. But we're there. Suspension back in, steering on, on-off switch. So ready to run. Right, so forwards, backwards, yeah, I think we're going a little bit faster than we were. Oh. So there we go, hobby grade. Still the original motor, so I do expect that we will burn that out. Knowing me, I'll probably burn it out before we even get out to try it. Yeah, that'll do. Thanks for watching. If you want more information, check down below in the video description. If you like this video, you might like this one up here. And if you want to subscribe, you can check out my channel over here. Up here is my latest video on my channel, and down here is a video playlist associated with the video you've just watched. Thanks again for watching.